I'm on. All right, you guys. Hello, hello, hello. We are excited to be here on our Thursday Coach with Shanda. I'm literally outside of a place called Better Buzz. Who am I? Like coffee drinkers out there, tea drinkers out there. I'm obsessed with Better Buzz. Of course, it's always not caffeinated. I had a dirty chai today. So I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. So this was caffeinated today. I got up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm a little irritated at myself for getting up that early. I won't lie. I was like, oh, sleep. And I couldn't because I was super inspired. And so, but I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to start this off before I do some business planning here, is to start off this conversation of how many of you guys, and just answer in the chat or answer on Facebook, wherever you're watching right now. How many of you guys have a bit of a block on maybe like this conversation that maybe you're not as good at business as like you'd like to be? Do you know what I'm saying? Like just put me, just put me in the chat, because I get the chats brought to me. Just so you guys know, here's a structural thing. We do a once a month content meeting. And that once a month content meeting, we actually take the chat. So this should be an aha for some of you guys. We actually take the chats and we write down what was the question I asked, and we take the chats and we bring it to the second Thursday of every month. We have a content meeting and we go through the chats and we take a highlighter, right? And we look, what are the themes that we're seeing? So the question I'm asking right now is, how many of you guys feel like you're not really overly confident in your business skills, right? Like you think you should be a better CEO, you should be better at maybe content creation, you should be better at maybe understanding your finances. So who's got like, you think you should understand money more? Go in the chat and put money. Who thinks they need to understand money more? Go in the chat and put money. Like I said, I'm going to pull this data. If you want great content from me, use the chats, right? If you want you have a voice in my world. You have a voice in my world. And so for me to create content that really is relevant for you and go heavier in one area than the next, I need to hear from you. So put money, if money is a challenge for you, meaning that you want more like financial literacy, right? Money. If you like are in a situation where like, I wish I was better at creating content or product creation, put content or product creation in the chat, right? Put product or content creation. If you feel like you should be a lot better in that area, put that down. And then the other area that I think is really important is, how good are you at staying connected to your audiences, right? Whether it's social, whether it's email, whether it's blogging, whatever it is. Like, do you need some challenges in connecting with your audience? If you do, put the word engage. And I don't mean like I do a video and nobody comments on it. I mean, by the word engage, I mean you don't really have a consistent like system in place to actually connect with your audience, right? So Coach with Shanda every Thursday is a consistent way for me to connect with you. I have 5 emails that go out a week to my database, and we do audio newsletters. And then I try and open up Giving Wednesdays for our coaching department. And we, unfortunately, we can't do that every week. But when there's a pocket, we'll send out on Wednesday where we carve out space for our business coaching ability for people to give them spots to coach, right? And so that's like, I've got a system, right? Like I've got a system in my head. Like Wednesday, that's what I'm doing on Wednesday. Monday, I've got pocket coaching. Tuesday and Thursday, I have audio coaching. Friday is a variable, meaning that like I try and send something out Friday, but if there's any room for wiggle, Friday's going to be the day that I miss it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I want to get to 7 days a week of valuable content. I have not created the system for that. And so what I'm trying to highlight to you is, it is darn okay to not have it all together, because it's called a build for a reason. You hear what I'm saying? Like, you're on a build for a reason. Don't try and knock everything down at the same time. But when you're looking at your talents and you're looking at your business, if you could identify an area in your life that you've done successfully, right? Highlight it. Just think right now. Even go in the chat and tell me that. Where's an area in your life that you've done successfully? Maybe corporate America, parenting, right? So parenting, Isa, right? It could be working really hard, recovery. Working really hard is great, but like give me a specific, right? Television. Barbara was good at television, right? And so a couple of you guys go put it in there. Lifestyle changes. What do you mean by lifestyle changes, right? Like how would lifestyle changes benefit somebody else? Brandy, social media, parenting, Michelle, meditation, healthy eating. Okay, you're getting it. You're getting it. You're getting specifics. That's how I want you to think. I want you to ground yourself in specifics. So to help your brain, like, so have you all heard me talk about leadership before? Like, I'm like, leadership is kind of the lever for everything. That's what I'm coaching you with right now. You can coach yourself in leadership by getting specific about what area in your life have you really done a good job at, like you were successful at. Then you need to write that down on a piece of paper, and then you need to reverse engineer, like, why was I successful? Why was I successful? And look for the ways of being. Like, I was really rigorous. I made decisions fast. I wasn't afraid. So maybe you were confident, right? And really do some time. Don't do it right now, but like do some time with yourself today. A great example of this, we're creating playbooks for our company right now. When I coach something or give some tweaks in the company, I want to go create the content right away. Whether it's a welcome email for you when you join our PACE program, whether it's an audio message from me when you onboard or you offboard, like we're saying bye to you and you're going to go coach with someone else, whatever it is, like when we create, like, somebody decides they're not going to renew with us. Okay, great. So what do I want to know? Well, I'm not going to chase them to stay with me, but what I do want to know is where could we have been better? So like when I tweak that, just like I'm giving you some tweaks on how to really run your company better, when I tweak that, I go right into creating that content piece right away so that it's done. Because if I wait a week or even two, guess what happens? I'm disconnected from that conversation. So urgency is really a success metric of people who are successful. This whole thing, everything in moderation, just kills so many people. It just absolutely, it is one of the most dangerous broke advice I've ever gotten in my life. To turn on my car so I get some AC in here. It's getting hot out here in California. But it's one of the areas that people, we were given that advice, like everything in moderation, and that will have you go, oh, I'll do that later. I'm just happy I figured out a plan. That's called I journaled about something. I feel good about it, but there's no follow-up, right? There's no follow through or follow up. It's like, I'll get there. And then by the time you get to there, your energy's not with it anymore. So can I get an agreement from you that today you're gonna look for an area in your life that you literally have done really great in? And I want you to ask yourself, why do I think I was great in it? Like, what was present for me? How did I lead it? Right? That's key word. How did I lead it? Lead my thoughts, lead my energy, lead when there was a challenge, lead Patty's already done, you overachiever, lead when, as far as making decisions. So how did I lead a challenge when it came up? How did I lead my energy? How did I lead making decisions? Right? What was my process of making a decision? And, and who did I impact? Right? Like, what was that result that was created? Because that's really your success metrics. Then I want you to take those descriptors and then look at your business and go, am I operating like this? Because so much you're in your head and you're giving your power away. I know it because I've done it. And I notice it now when I'm doing it, and I go ask for help, right? Like, I go to my husband, I'm like, here, my husband's my best cheerleader, and he's also my toughest coach. But like, I'll go to my husband, I'll be like, I'm a little nervous about this. Like, so like there's been times in growing my business, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, where I thought, do I really want to grow bigger? And that's all about me. Do you know what? It really is all about me. Because here's the thing, that as the companies grow, there's these pain metrics. It's in the starting of, what's my message? What am I going to sell? Which is all about you. You don't ever break out of that conversation from that conversation. You break out of it saying, what are my talents? What do people need? Not, well, I don't want to do that because I have trauma from my old job. Like, all of that's about you. If you are on me, on you, you'll never break through. No coach will get you through. That's why leadership is so key, right? So it might start with the pain of, remember, all about me is always in pain. What's my message? What am I going to sell? Where do I find customers and clients? You know, it's like, versus like when you're causal, like trying to raise money for a nonprofit or something, most of you guys could just really convince people to step up, right? You're so much more bolder when it's about a bigger cause. So you got to get your company into a bigger cause. And that takes some letting go of control, some faith. Write this down. Somebody said something in a seminar that I was in not too long ago, and they said, faith is voice activated. And I love that. Our voice and what we speak, faith is voice activated. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't land for you, but I was like, oh, how often am I speaking faith over things? I do it with my team all the time. I will never let my team see me sweat. Why? My job is to keep them on that's my job as a CEO. My job is not to process with my team, right? My job is to, like, here's where we're going. Here's why I know it's going to work. And it helps me enroll myself out there. And then, as the company's grown, I've encountered the same pain points where I get back all about myself, just like, what's my message? What am I going to sell? Where it's like, do I really want to grow the company more? But here's what's crazy. As you grow the company, you take off hats. You're no longer the sales department. You're no longer the coaching department. You're no longer the accounting department, or the delinquency payments, or the people that don't want to pay you anymore. You take off these hats as you grow. I'm no longer the tech department. I'm no longer the admin department. You get what I'm saying? I'm no longer the operations department. I don't handle like anybody in team, right? When I started, I handled my VA. But then, so now it's like, as I go, we are in the process of hiring 2 major people inside of our company, really around marketing and community. Are you guys excited? Community love. Who's excited about that? You're going to get taken care of even more, because there's only so much that I can handle, just like you, right? Just like you, there's only so much you can handle. And so as you build, areas bleed. But you know what? Your right people stay with you. They hold on. They have trust that you're going to fix it. But that trust comes from you getting, where have I been successful before? And I'm going to lead with those ways of being now. And if you do that, I promise you, not everybody will stay throughout your bleeds, but the ones that matter will. There's people who choose you to be in their tribe, right? Who are my people out there where you're like, I'm a hardcore lifer, right? Like, I'm a hardcore lifer. There's a, like, you know what I mean? Put lifer in the chat. Put lifer, then I can see you. It's interesting to see. But it's like, I know who my lifers are because they hang with me through everything and they empower me as I build. Instead of judge me, instead of judge you, right? Like Abigail, as you grow, you want the people who are like, Abigail, you missed that, and here's what I would suggest. Here's how I can support. Hey, do you need any volunteers? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like people who are like ambassadors, and you're in it together. There she goes. That's a hardcore heart right there. So you know what I'm saying? So you want to develop that, but part of that is to also tell your community where you're breaking. But remember, as you grow, you actually take off hats. So what happens that I've seen over the years, I used to call my marketing mastery group the School of Spoiled Children. I don't call them that anymore because they're not like that anymore. But there was a big moment. There was like a year where I was calling them the School of Spoiled Children. And the reason why is many of them made it to about $300,000-$400,000 a year. And they started going back to that initial conversation, which was all about me. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't really think I want to grow anymore. I'm like, I went through all of that with you and like all the Instagram messages and all the Facebook messages for you to stop caring about people. I'm like, no way. Like, I'm in it to like have you play at the biggest level possible and do your personal development. Because the only reason why I don't want to grow bigger is because there's some pain associated with it. Like, I have to figure out how to make that big higher. And that's like emotionally hard or draining for me, right? Or I got to figure out how to get good, like understand my profit and loss statements. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I actually understand how to understand money now. And so I feel like I can handle it here. I'm going to stop at this control because I can handle it here, which is again, all about you. And you remember this, I said this last week, you are not ever maintaining. You are not ever maintaining. You health experts out there that think you're going to create a maintenance program for your clients when they're done a program, and that's a program that dies, right? Because maintenance dies. So you don't want to be a dying company. You want to make as much money as you can, pull a bunch off the top or as much as you can off the top, pay yourself first, put it into an investment and grow it, and be willing in some of your cases to lose it in the growth, right? Think of it like that. I'm willing to lose this to grow it, and allow yourself to actually have some growth happen inside your business and outside your business. And you should be getting a long-term goal that's bigger than just making money in your business and serving people. It's also about the whole circle around, yes, make money, serve people, but also how are you being the type of leader where you're growing and multiplying that money? Because that's going to give you even more confidence. When I started getting $2,000 in the bank, $5,000 in the bank, $14,000 in the bank, $30,000 in the bank, and it kept growing, what do you think that did to my ability to serve? I stopped looking at anybody as a dollar symbol. I stopped looking at anybody as a dollar symbol. So it's part of your duty to pull it off and start growing and multiplying. I call it a slush account. And then figuring out where are you going to put that slush account to be able to grow it. I will say this, if anybody messages you online and says it's me to invest in Bitcoin, it's not me. Okay, because there's people who create fake accounts by me, and I will never solicit you to invest in any sort of thing out there. Okay, because that happened. A poor woman lost like $2,700. I ended up giving her $2,700 back, which was not my responsibility. But, you know, I've obviously can't do that with everyone, but I felt bad for her. And my point is that, you know, you got to be smart about these things. Get a good advisor, learn how to multiply your money. I think there's going to be a big opportunity in real estate over the next 2 years. And so start stockpiling. All right, let's do a hot seat real quick. Who wants to do a hot seat? Hot seat, raise your hand because I can't see your like, I'm on my phone right now. So I can't see. Nobody wants to do a hot seat? None of you guys love me? You don't want to do a hot seat? Nobody wants coaching?
I've raised my hand.
I do.
Okay. Whoever that first person was, jump in there.
Hi, it's Emily. Good morning.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm excited, and I didn't know I was going to get hot seated today, so I'm excited to be here and learn what I can.
Awesome. Okay, great. So Emily, give me the problem that you want me to solve.
So right now I am in a sales cycle. I'm launching into a 4-month program that I've developed and spent a lot of heart and soul on. So I'm excited about that. And I have.
Okay, let me jump into that first. Hold that thought, and I'll get you to finish the question. Everybody, first thing that comes up in my head is why a 4-month program? What's the strategy in that?
Because it's what I'm comfortable with. And at this point, it's where my comfort zone is in marketing.
Okay, so but you mean in sales?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good to know. So, and what are you charging for that?
It's a beta launch, and right now it's being $1,000 for the 4 months, which I know you're going to say was low.
No, it's okay. Listen, we're on the same team, right? Mm-hmm. And so my job's to get you there quicker. So the $1,000, I would rather you I'd rather you do a $700 workshop for 2 days than lock yourself up for 4 months. That's a higher risk. What if you only had 4 people for 4 months? But if you had 4 people for 2 days,
Mm-hmm.
you can still train the same content in 2 or 3 days. So I'd rather that than the 1,000 for 4 months. So just saying that. And then secondly, unfortunately, like we don't like, so it could work as a qualifying funnel. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So it qualifies her clients, because every time you work with people, there's always people who want to keep going deeper. Mm-hmm. And one of the benefits of being a small business owner is that you're still accessible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still accessible. Nobody's to ever say that, like, any of us, like, just because my company's this size doesn't mean that I'm better at what I do than you are in your industry. Do you guys all get that? Right? So it's like, some of you guys have been in your industry longer than I've been in my industry. So it's not like, money doesn't qualify. What's the word I'm looking for, you guys? Like talent or results. It doesn't qualify that. So I would, if you're going to qualify customers, and if you're committed to working in your comfort zone, which your calling is not in your comfort zone, but if you're committed to that right now, Elizabeth, what I'd recommend, where'd you go? You just disappeared on my screen. There you go.
I'm here.
It's Emily, right? Sorry, Emily, not Elizabeth. I would recommend doing a $700 or even a $597, like 1 day or 2 day workshop with the same content. And then from there, make an offer for people to even just speak with you on the phone and apply to be in your 10-month program to take it deeper. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because truthfully, if you wanted to do that workshop every quarter, you could. You could do that workshop every quarter. And for a whole year, all you focused on is maybe going from a webinar to selling that 2-day workshop to introducing an opportunity to work with you for a 10-month or 1 year, plan. It will be in your comfort zone once you do it.
Thank you.
It's no different than pricing. Like, somebody who wants to increase their pricing that's watching right now, put a dollar symbol. Who wants to increase your pricing? Put a dollar symbol. So you guys, best way to increase your pricing is the next sale that you do, the next enrollment that you do, just raise the price. And raise the price to the number that you want, that you feel worried about, and then commit to talking to people every single week until somebody says yes. I remember my first time doing my private coaching to $1,200 a month, and I coached 2 hours, $1,200 a month. And literally the first 2 people said no to me, and the third person said yes. And that was the coaching I gave myself. I'm just going to keep going until somebody says yes. Soon as somebody said yes, that was my new bar. I was good. I did the same thing to jump it to 1,500. I did the same thing to jump it to 3,000. Same thing. Cool.
Great,
okay. So Emily, are you going to take that coaching?
Of course. I'm going to take your coaching, and I've also already have people enrolled in the 4-month program. So I'm committing to the 4-month program now. And I also hear the coaching.
How many people?
Right now I have 3 people committed.
So just go back to them and tell them you're doing an intensive. Do an intensive, and then do 30 days with them one-on-one.
Okay.
Okay, so see, I can feel her hesitation. You guys got to learn how to shift like this. Mm-hmm. So Emily, where you need to go in your head right now, I hope everybody's learning from this. Where you need to go, I'm not making it worse for the client. I'm actually making it better. I'm actually making it better. They're going to do 2 days in an intensive, which means they don't have to wait as long to get all that information out of you. They don't have to wait as long. How many of you guys want faster results? Go in the chat and say me. How many of you guys want faster results? That's intensives. That's why, like, when I teach my list power intensive, I mean, that's 90 days of content that I teach in 3 days. Plus I add additional strategy and hot seats to it, which people don't get, like, in the modules. So people get, we get much better results with our clients and our coaches. People who go from my list power intensive to our PACE program, our coaches are like, when they see it on their the client's account, they're like, yes, because that client is so much further ahead than somebody that comes in that hasn't done the intensive. They've worked through so many emotions of what they can and can't do. They've done the steps already. You know what I'm saying? So Emma, you need to get in your head, like what I'd recommend is take your 4-month program and design it in 2 days, right? Design the steps in 2 days. And then really what you're doing is you go back to them and say, hey, here's what we made a decision. We can actually get you your results faster by doing a 2-day intensive, which is what I'm shifting this program into. And then because you've already committed to the 4 months, what I'm going to do is give you 2 months or 1 month, 30 days or 45 days of one-on-one coaching. It's great. It's great. It's really great. How many of you guys would love it if I gave that to you? If I gave you $997 to do a 4-month program, or I taught you everything in 2 days, and then I worked with you for 45 days. Okay, build up Emily's mindset here. See, people are like, yes, me, I would love it. Right? So you got to, whatever's got a sticky point for you, that sticky point is not going away until you step through it. Can you guys all hear me on that? She will battle with that sticky point where it's right in front of her right now. She should take action on it. Just send an email or pick up the phone and call them. You know what I mean? And just do it. And don't worry about, do you know that me shifting a program, I've only ever had 1 client in 11 years not take it. One client in 11 years not take it. Now follow me here. Somebody do the math. Emily, do you have a calculator you can do the math for me?
I can pull one up.
When are you doing this 4-month program? When does it start?
July 5th.
Okay, so that's a long time from now. Okay, so now imagine this. Imagine how long did it take you to sell those 3?
I just did a 5-day challenge, so it didn't take long. And yeah.
Okay, so it took 5 days. So, but do you have another 5-day challenge set up?
I have a master class set up and
so you're stacking
class to do Yoga International Day.
Okay, so you're stacking. So you're event stacking. So so say you got another 3. Just call it that. You got 6. So you made $6,000 there, right? Mm-hmm. Which is great. You guys, that's great. No complaints on that, right? That's great. And so now if like you take those 6 people, do the math on this. So pretend you got $6,000, right? You're committed for 4 months. Okay, so which is almost half a year. And then in addition, you're not gonna be able to, there's no, I'm not that you couldn't do another offer, you could do another offer, but you're probably gonna need to execute a little bit more on that for them to get more clarity before you can make another offer. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a little clunky. You're probably gonna make another offer towards the end of that 4 months. So if all 6 people stay in, which would be awesome, right? But say you have attrition and 2 fall off. Now you got 4 people in there. Out of that 4 people, if you make an offer for somebody to come work with you for 10 months, maybe you get all 4, or maybe you get 1. I'm going to take 2 to split the difference. Say 2 at, let's say, 12,000. So do the math. You got 6,000, 12, and plus 12,000, plus 12,000. So 24,000 plus 6,000.
30,000.
30,000 off what you're doing right now. Okay. In essentially 5 months, 5.5 months of work. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So now do the math for me like this. Say you do the 2-day workshop for $700. How many guys think $700 is pretty easy to sell? Even $700 and let them bring a friend. Right? So maybe 30% of them bring a friend. Do the math with me. So let's just say you've got 20 people in for 700. What's 700 times 20?
14,000.
Okay, so you got 14,000. I got no paper on me, of course. Go 14,000. Now you got 20 people. What is 20% of 20 people?
Is 4.
So 4 times 12,000, what's that?
48,000.
So 48,000 plus the other, what was it? 14,000?
14 is
So
62.
what does that come to?
62.
How much?
62,000.
So now you got 52,000 in the door by first week of July. See what I'm saying? Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's a big difference. And the chances are you'll probably convert higher than that on your 2-day. So I just want you guys to learn from this and look at the math, because part of math is put it this way, make it easy for people to get in and work with you. Because if you give, like, even like it's a spiritual principle, it's a biblical principle, generosity. It's a biblical principle. It actually opens up the keys. If you know anything about scripture, there's tithing of 10%, and then there's an offering over and above 10%. People think it's all about like the church making money. Well, how do you think they reach people? Or let's just talk about a nonprofit. The more you give, it unlocks these pieces with money. It unlocks it. Great example. We give 10% of our income to God anointed causes. We started doing that this year. In the last 2 months, we've had over 40% profit margin. Nothing's changed in my campaigns. Nothing's changed in my campaigns. But my relationship with money has gotten even better. Because I was always a giver. I've always had generosity. Who are my givers out there? But then when I stretched myself financially to give bigger than what, like be held accountable like that, where no matter what, no matter whether it was a good campaign or not a good campaign, the 10% on a weekly basis is being accounted for and pulled in a month towards that give, our commitment, which is our tithe essentially inside of our company. It just changed everything. And it was a stretch, trust me. If I had a 20%, profit margin somewhere and all of a sudden I have 10% profit margin, that's a big difference on the bottom line, my friends. But it changed. So it did stretch me, but it changed my relationship with finances. So if you flip that into business, if you can take what you do and you can give really strongly on the front end, first of all, more people have an opportunity to get access to you. I'm going to tell you, as your company grows, that becomes even more of a blessing. As your company grows, it becomes even more of a blessing. None of you are going to be where you are today in 6 months, a year, or 3 years from now. Not if you're hanging out with me. You're just not going to be in the same place. You're going to grow. So I love the stack that you're doing, Emily. I think it's great and it works. You're making money. I just would I don't love the 4-month commitment. You know what I mean? The truth is you could do that $1,000 for a 3-day workshop with you. You know what I mean? Like you really could. I know you're not there yet mentally, and I can't do anything about that from the screen here. But what I can do is give you the same strategy where we can get more people in and then make a bigger offer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now it's up to you if you're coachable.
Great. Thank you. I won't take more of the time, but I appreciate all that. Thank you so much. And I have paid a lot of money for weekend workshops in the past. Like I know how much they cost and I've paid it. And I know that I am worth that. It's just building the connection with the audience to have them trust me.
But you're doing that already, and you're already doing it successfully. So you're actually talking. You're actually caught in me, right? In the me conversation, because even like yes, you have authority because you've paid it, but that's not where you want your mind to focus. You want your mind to focus. Think about the ones you've paid for and what was the transformation you got out of it and how valuable was that? And would you have wanted to wait 4 months to get that? You know what I mean? Do you guys see how I broke that down? Because if her attention is just on I paid it and so should they, then she's still going to see the gap on I don't have the connection with the audience. But the truth is you do have the connection with the audience. They like you clearly. I mean, how many of you guys out there would love to be able to sell $3,000 packages in a week? You know what I mean? Like, that's good, right? Like, she has the connection with the audience. So you're just caught in a me conversation. I know that's not who you are. You're giving. I want you to go past that. It's look up in your mental game, look at the transformation you got from those workshops you've paid for in the past. And then, like, would you have wanted to wait 4 months to get that? That's the positioning you come in for the people who paid the $1,000, right? And the new people who buy. Like the masterclass you have coming up, I'd flip it to this game. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Also, I'm going to take one more.
Hi there.
Who is
It's
the hi
Allison
there?
again.
With
This was
what?
I was the one that said me when you unmuted us at first.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so what I really need help for you is leadership coaching, because I've paid for leadership and I can't get in, and it's holding me back. And I like my managing my mind is like a full-time job, because I'm handling with trauma recovery is my specialty, and I have the vision. You know, I want to soothe the world and healing their trauma. We all need it, but I'm stuck with making my banner, and I've paid for the VA with Heartworks, and I use my whole stimulus check to put down for that, because I know that money loves speed. And now I'm teaching classes every day at 3:00 for mental health awareness, pride awareness, because my daughters are
what's your question for me specifically?
like, how do I convert? Like, I'm giving it free, but like I am not making an offer that's leading to any money. It's just like I'm just burning myself, giving generously, and like it's a detriment to my mental health.
No,
Now
well,
I'm
don't
stressed
let it be
about money.
detrimental. Don't let it. No. So you're saying you're teaching on a daily basis, and you've got no way to like make an offer and pull those people out. Is that correct?
Right. I wrote a letter, but like the VA stuff, I'll post it in the group, because
No,
I've been
hold
really
on.
isolating.
Stay with me here. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to answer your question. So
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what's the problem I'm solving for in the essence of, you said that you've got nowhere. So do you want me to solve how to, like, are you speaking to people who could be your customers or clients every day?
Yes.
Okay. So weave it into your content.
So yesterday when
so
I
that
did,
you're not
yesterday when I
making
did
an
12,
offer. So you're not making an offer, but you can weave it into your content so people come up to you and ask to work with you. Here's a great example. I have a client who teaches people how to write books, and he's speaking at an event that he's not allowed to make an offer at. And I said, so when someone writes a really good, best-selling book, what happens? And they get vulnerable in it. Like, they share, like, your backstory is vulnerable. Everybody's backstory is vulnerable. Like, nobody follows a leader that doesn't have a vulnerable backstory that they broke through. That's what makes you accessible, right? That's what makes you a leader, is like, oh, I know your pain because I'm here and you made it here. I'm going to listen to you. So that's one of the qualifications that makes a good best-selling book. So I said, when you're teaching, when you're speaking, have a piece about vulnerability. And when you teach about vulnerability or speak about vulnerability in a book, share how vulnerable, as an example, share how vulnerable your workshops are for you, and that you're doing one at the end of the month, and weave it into the content. And so it would look like this. So he's teaching about vulnerability, and he says, so great example is like, I'm doing a workshop at the end of the month where I'm teaching people how to come up with their concept of the book, how to come up with their table of contents, get it written like in a month, and then like launch it as a best-selling book to start monetizing within 60 to 90 days. And that's vulnerable for me. And here's why. And then he keeps going on with the content. And what happens is when he gets off stage, people walk up to him and say, oh my gosh, when's that workshop? I want to go to it. And then at that point, what he does is he gets them a cell phone number and their name, and he throws them a text, and he says, if you make a decision by tomorrow, right? Or if you buy your ticket by tomorrow, you can bring a spouse, a business partner. That's just one of the offers that I'll do sometimes, and so I gave him that offer. Another one you could do is, if you make a decision by tomorrow, then I would throw in this bonus, or this bonus is available, but the deadline's tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'll text you the link to put down your $700 or whatever it is for that workshop. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then like, where's the link come from is my problem.
You got it. You got to get your virtual assistant to set that up, or like they just need to set up a PayPal.
My virtual assistant is HeartWorks.
For you guys is you don't want to use link. Yeah, so you have to ask them to set. It takes them 2 seconds to set that up. So just ask them to set up a payment link for you. Oh, you're frozen.
Okay.
She's frozen. Okay, so I'm gonna end there, you guys, because we're way over our. I'm gonna end there because we're way over today, you guys. But I hope that was supportive. Normally we go about 20-25 minutes. We went a lot longer today. I'm sending you guys so much love, and I'll come back later on today and I'll look at the comments. So much love. Talk to you soon. Bye.